everybody. I'm Dr. Marianne Pinkston, and this is The Better Life with Dr. Pinkston. And I'm a doctor here in San Antonio, bringing you some news and information about the latest and greatest that is developing in the more integrative medicine world. And as always, once a month, I bring in Ray Solano from up in Cedar Park, Texas, PDLabs, my favorite compounding pharmacy in the world. We're also associated with the Laval Performance Health Center, which is newly up and built there and running. So please contact us for more information and to see me or Jim Laval. And welcome in, Ray. We're going to talk about something that's really important today about food noise. I think food noise is something everybody deals with. But first, welcome in. Nice to see you.
Well, thanks for having me today. We're looking forward to having a great show today.
Absolutely. We always do. So people can go back and check our old shows. If they want to go to drpbetterlife.com. Can definitely see what we've been doing the past 3 years. But food noise, what's the latest? Food noise is something I've always dealt with. I think my guests know that, my guests, but also my audience knows that I dealt with weight loss going from 300 pounds now down to 120. I lost 180 total, and food noise and stress eating and all of that was my big issue. So now that we're finally developing some solutions, I think this is absolutely wonderful. I just had to use the old willpower method for these last years. But what's the latest that's developing?
Well, it's really, finally we've categorized this and call it a name so people can put a placeholder on it. And they make them feel more comfortable when they started hearing about the food noise. It is interesting, and the literature talks about it. Unfortunately, we don't have a lot of people that are being educated as to what it is. They really is a misunderstanding, but it is very debilitating. You talk to people that they say they can't stop talking about, we call this hedonic eating, is they have to have something all the time. And unfortunately, in our society, we're giving stimulus that really support that continuously. And we have food available all the time. Right. But one of the side effects, fortunately, we've been able to suppress that food noise without amphetamines or without stimulants. And this new classifications of drugs, these GLP inhibitors, stop that food noise, which is great because it works on the hippocampus and it seems to work on the brain without having drastic side effects. But what we find, 1 out of 9 people have taken the semaglutide or the Ozempic is the brand name, but they've stopped it because they gained all the weight back or they ran out of money. Right. So, but all these people have said, you know what, I just can't stop eating afterwards because they get so used to it. So I see a lot of people coming into the pharmacy and they say, the cravings are gone, or it stopped my OCD, my ADHD symptoms are coming back. So we realized that this classifications of drugs that are really transforming healthcare is going to have more effects centrally than just weight loss. Right. So that's why we really launched a program that's really going to these micro doses or different doses. That's what we do as a specialty compounding pharmacy. We end up tailor or personalize the medication to the patient. So we can take different doses for this medications that's just injection and be able to satisfy that. It's just really exciting, don't you think?
Absolutely, absolutely. And so, on the subject of food noise and then the compulsive eating is what people are doing. So, they're driven by something deep inside that just says, the pantry's just calling your name, get up, go eat. It's not out of hunger. It's out of either boredom, but no, there is a chemical addictive type drive inside that does that to you. I know, I lived it. And like you, I have found that patients who have been using the GLPs, I have the weight loss clinic and they're doing the tirzepatide injections or the semaglutide. And a lot of patients have reported back that their compulsive shopping are drinking has not just diminished but disappeared, that it seems to control a lot of those compulsive behaviors. Now, this is not something that's on label with the medications through the pharmaceutical version, but we can speak about this because this is something clinically that we've seen. I'm glad you've seen this as well. It's amazing.
Exactly. I think it's important to get rid of some of those factors that enhance that food noise, and to what is the root cause of this at the same time. We think high fructose corn syrup, processed foods also contribute, or even sometimes people have food intolerances or allergies that just keep on getting those people that they have to have it. Sometimes it could be gluten insensitivity.
Or
it triggers the brain like a morphine response.
Right.
Even casein sometimes occurs. They just can't get enough of it.
Absolutely. Have you noticed artificial sweeteners? The same. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but the artificial sweeteners, the same. I noticed back when I was trying to get off of sugar and carbohydrates a long time ago, Splenda became my best friend. But I noticed I was gaining more weight, but also seemingly more addicted to sugar or craving more using artificial sweeteners, especially Splenda. So I think people need to realize that is a cause as well.
The pancreas doesn't understand the difference between artificial sweeteners and regular sweeteners. So I think it somehow triggers that insulin response, and it's definitely wants more. But also I think taste buds change. When you get used to sugary foods, foods that are bitter, that are good for you, and other foods that are good for you just don't have any satisfaction
Correct.
at all. As my friend Jim Laval says, we don't have broccoli shops in fast foods showing up, or drive-ins on the spicy broccoli in the drive-ins. It just doesn't exist anywhere. So, it's not a part of our culture. But unfortunately, it's up to people to make a difference and to make some choices.
Absolutely.
And then we can make, if nothing else, this drug can be able to get people to get control of their health. Right. And that's what we're trying to do.
And I want to talk a lot about this drug and how you're doing it. And I do want people to understand, though, that have trouble with it, that there is a time where, like, giving up alcohol, like giving up anything else, you can get rid of it permanently. Well, maybe not permanently, but you can control it. Like now, if I have a piece of sweet potato, that is like candy to me, whereas I used to have to drown it in brown sugar and butter
right.
and things like that, but now I don't have to do that any longer. There is a transition you can make out of habit, as you say. The taste buds get used to it, and you can change it over time, but it's so difficult to do. So using something like you have created now with new technology, at least, that can help in this regard. So tell us about that. How does this help? What have you created?
Well, we've created it's an FDA-approved drug, tirzepatide, which is available, and being able to put it in a dosage form. It's right now it's available as an injection only, and pharmaceutical companies have about 2 years before they put it into an oral form. So we find that the oral forms, you can take them, but to get them absorbed lymphatically is difficult.
Right.
And we partnered with a pharmaceutical company, Hack Technologies, and be able to develop a whole classifications of drugs that use this special technology that takes a nanosphere of the drug and be able to put it in a envelope that the body is able to accept it very quickly, whether you swallow it or chew it. We are finding that you get dosages, or you get a bioavailability of these difficult drugs very quickly. So it's really a game changer for people to be able to just think about it, to be able to chew a drug that you would be able to eventually use to have to do injections on a weekly basis, or some of them on a daily basis. It makes it so much easier for us to be able to titrate or be able to get the right dose for the patient.
Absolutely.
So that's what we're really excited for, and we're able to launch it now, and it's affordable. And it's something that they can be able to take on a daily basis. What people do is twice a day dosing is usually beneficial, but we try to make it easy and make it something structured that anybody can do.
Right. Yeah, even a caveman can do it, huh? So I think with the tirzepatide being chewable now, and people may not understand how tirzepatide, why they have to take these medications on, by injection and not orally. It's because the stomach will digest it's a peptide. The medication's a peptide, and when you swallow it, it goes into the stomach then the stomach acids will digest the peptide, so it's not useful to the body any longer. So to be able to transform this into something oral is absolutely amazing. Yes, you're switching to more of a daily, daily instead of weekly dosing, maybe even twice a day. But that, for many, do not want to use an injectable form. It's very intimidating. We've taught people into it and helped them acquire and do it, but this would be something that's much easier. But how does the tirzepatide work? How does it work to suppress appetite?
What it does is it influences these insulin receptors. It slows down the gastric emptying of the stomach. So that's unfortunately sometimes it could be a little bit of a side effect, but it also stops this insulin resistance response. So what it does is influences blood sugar levels. So right now we have circulating blood sugars and high levels of insulin. So the body has a circulation of this super potent glucose levels in your blood that the blood cells say, unfortunately, we can't take those in because we just have enough. So we call this insulin resistance. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, we've been battling this for years, and many different diets really work on this model, try to stop that. Well, this drug influences those cells to say, you know what, you can take in more blood sugars, everything is fine. So this works on that bodily chemistry in the brain and also in the gut. So the combination of two gets say, you know what, I'm satisfied.
Right.
And and they may eat half as much as they used to do. Yeah. So we get a lot less caloric intake as well. But you know what? There also is a ramp up in all the other metabolic systems. We see people's blood. Their lipid levels seem to be normalized. We see their thyroid seem to be normalized. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, the good thing is that it seems to make everything normalize again. So that's what's so exciting. But there's one difficult downside. As soon as you stop taking the drug,
right?
If your metabolic engines are not tuned up, you'll go back to eating like you used to with a ferocious appetite, and you'll gain all the weight back plus some, because sometimes people lose muscle when they do this. Yeah. So that's what is so important to get with a trained a medical team like yourself to be able to put together a program so you can get, say goodbye to those clothes that are huge. Absolutely. And go ahead and start changing your wardrobe out. So that's why it's so important.
Yes.
To get your blood test, work with somebody, invest about, I say, good 3 months. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely. 3 to 6, honestly, because I think that over time, the laboratory seems to change more drastically in the 3 to 6 month area that I've seen. After the first 3 months, there's a little getting used to the medication, a little bit of training on how to change your eating habits and get into a good lifestyle. Most patients will, attempt to crash diet. They try to lower their appetite to the point where they just don't eat, and they feel like they'll lose weight then, and then suddenly that's, going to fix everything. But you need to incorporate a lifestyle change and maintain your muscle. Don't crash diet. Crash dieting causes you to lose more muscle, as you said. and then, get your lifestyle straightened out, eat correctly, and that takes a few months to get used to that. So I feel like that 3 to 6 month period, honestly, is more important to make those new habits well established, change the appetite more permanently, where the brain gets it then, and then kind of slowly release yourself away from it. And then people have been able to do that. I did it, and so people have been able to maintain that, ongoing. But the lifestyle piece is so important, absolutely. And I know that is something that we're trying to do there at PDLabs and the Laval Performance Health Center. And so with kind of the 2.5 minutes left, tell us a little bit about calling and getting in and seeing somebody about your nutrition habits and lifestyle that adds to being able to get the prescribed medication as well.
Well, you can easily call us 512-219-0782, 512-219-0782. And you can check out our website, Laval, that's Lavalle, lavalperformance.com. And if you can't remember any of that, you can just put my name in, Ray Solano, PD Labs, and you'll be able to connect to our pharmacy. And we got trained professionals that will link you into our Laval Performance Center, and to be able to get your name and contact information, and we can get you some free evaluation to see if you're a good candidate. We want people to be healthy, to be able to get on this program. And I think that's really important as to why you have to have a medically supervised program.
Yeah.
So give us a call. We'd be happy to work with you.
I know that many are, joining up with these various programs that are seemingly inexpensive, but they're not monitored. They're not given good information about how to do this permanently. You get what you pay for. So you really have to be medically supervised. This is not just, something that you just take, lose weight, and go on. It's instantaneous, it's quick, it's all of those, it's not that. We really have to do this the right way. So if, PD Labs and Jim Laval have been working very closely with for a long time, you can also go to drpbetterlife.com. I have all of the links to Ray and PD Labs and to Jim Laval and the Laval Performance Health Center. So please reach out and also see our previous shows. So we are going to take a very short break, Ray, and come back and talk a little bit more about this. And give us a second. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Ray Solano with your Healthy Choices Minute, sponsored by Prescription Dispensing Labs. New research has concluded that implementing dietary changes could prevent gut inflammatory processes involved in some chronic diseases. Modulation of your gut microbes through diets enriched with vegetables, legumes, grains, nuts, and a higher intake of plant over animal foods has a potential to prevent intestinal inflammatory conditions at the core of many chronic diseases. In short, the foods we eat in our dietary patterns have a major influence on our immune system that can cause many conditions we are suffering from today. Solution: try our OptiMeal shake. Our team has developed the best tasting, healthiest shake you've ever experienced to control blood sugar and to improve your gut. Start your day today with a healthy choice. Call us today at 888-909-0110 for a free sample of the OptiMeal shake. 888-909-0110. Remember, you have a choice in healthcare.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Marianne Pinkston, talking today with Ray Solano from PD Labs up in Cedar Park, Texas. We have talked about tirzepatide, the GLP that seems to be magically changing everybody's lives and, decreasing appetite. But there is no magic to it. There is work to be done. There are labs you need to check. There are things we need to do. But before we kind of jump off with that again, Ray, I know that patients sometimes are looking for other supplements that they can do without having to jump into a medical program. So I know you guys are developing something in the world of berberine, but can you speak to the supplements that patients can look at? And of course, with guidance from their practitioner, we need to make sure you're asking your provider about the safety of you taking, but what about supplements?
There are a number of supplements that influence insulin resistance, and one of them that has come into favor recently is berberine.
Yes.
It's a naturally occurring flavonoid that has been around for quite a long period of time. But unfortunately, it's like turmeric and curcumin. It's difficult to absorb. It's very insoluble. You have to take a lot of it to influence. So what we're seeing is a lot of configurations and I guess manipulation of the molecule berberine, and to be able to do the same thing and be able to get it into the body, because it does influence blood sugar levels. And it's really nice, something that could be done afterwards for the injections.
Yes.
To make sure people have a good foundation to continue. That's a non-pharmaceutical. So berberine in this same form, this LPT form, it is something that people can do as a non-drug indication, along with some lifestyle changes.
Right.
So berberine LPT is available within 2 weeks. I think that you'll find that this is something that this technology, this LPT, is able to take these insoluble drugs so the body can get into the cells very quickly.
Right. And with that, with this LPT technology too, back to the tirzepatide as well, it decreases the side effect of nausea, right? And some of the other side effects. So you get better dosing, you get less side effects, and microdosing. That is going to be kind of the new term, I think, that is going to come into play. And you've heard it here. Microdosing is something where you take a lower amount that's just more effective. Therefore, you have less, problems and issues, side effects, and other issues that come up with taking larger amounts of drug. So the berberine that you're speaking of, that's something that I'm really excited about. I think tying it into the tirzepatide together is very smart. But again, after patients finish the program, then they need to be able to look into something. Or if it's just the program is not safe for you, or there's something if tirzepatide is not safe for you, or something you can't take, then this is an alternative. So you said about 2 weeks. Did I hear that right?
In 2 weeks. That's the end of the month, where you should be able to have that available. Check out our website, PDLabsRx.com, and also LavalPerformance.com. That's LavalPerformance.com, and we can definitely get you on the right track. But I think it's so important is many people that are overweight didn't get there overnight.
Absolutely.
And many of them have some very serious medical conditions.
Yes.
That are underlying that got them there in the first place, or as a result of. So that's why it's so important to get a baseline. Wouldn't you agree on that?
Oh my goodness, absolutely. There are many factors that lead into weight gain. It's not just the food noise and problems there, but the insulin resistance and prediabetes that is afflicting us in this country is amazing. And it's developed over the last, several decades with help from the food industry and artificial sweeteners and high fructose corn syrup and whatnot. But yes, absolutely. So we didn't do this overnight. You are right. And we're not going to get out of it overnight. So please stop looking for all these quick fixes and, quick ways of getting this done. It took me 7 years, really, to get to where I am now. It took a good 2 to 3 years to make a major change, but ultimately, even to change out my labs completely to lack of insulin resistance now has taken a long time. So you have to quit looking for quick fixes. I'm glad you brought all that up, for sure.
Many people have other conditions. They have mold infections. They have Lyme infections. Mm-hmm. They may have heavy metals from past mercury fillings. They may have also some pesticides that they've been exposed to, chasing mosquito trucks as a child. Mm-hmm. The list goes on of some of those things. That weight gain is a result of that chronic condition. Right. So it's really important to get to that root cause, because we don't want people to go, they feel good, they lose their weight, and they just, as soon as they stop, it goes right back. Absolutely. That's just it's really scary, or I guess it's really sad to see people gain everything back.
Right. And I know people feel like, if I had my thyroid straightened, if I had my hormones straightened, and
Right.
that is a piece of the puzzle. Thyroid has much less to do with weight, gain and loss than people think. It is an important part. Hormones are an important part. Your body is a 500-piece puzzle. All 500 pieces matter, but when we go back to the absolute basics, that the toxic effects of things we've been exposed to are huge, and I think leaky gut, and gut issues are also huge, and that affects our brain chemistry as well, so that we can't modify our eating and appetite and things like that. So, in the last about minute and a half, Ray, how can people get in touch with you?
Sure, they can give us a call. Is PDLabsRx.com, 512-219-0724, or our 800 number is 888-909-0110, and check out PDLabsRx.com. And we've got some special promotions this month. We transfer your prescriptions, your 3 months prescriptions. We give you the first month free and no charge for shipping. Can you believe that?
I can't.
We transfer your prescription to us and we give you the first month free.
Oh my goodness, that is amazing, Ray. Wow. Over and above, that is how I describe you and your pharmacy, as a group of people who just go over and above. And Jim Laval as well, an amazing provider. I am sending people to him all the time, especially if you feel like there's some toxic hormonal, cortisol, adrenal-driven issues. Jim Laval is just absolutely amazing. So I encourage you to get in touch with them. You can do that through PD Labs and the Laval Performance Health Center. And you can do that through my website. So drpbetterlife.com. See all of my 3 years of shows. I'm very proud of this now, as well as Ray and I and our monthly shows. So please take a look at it and join out in the social media. Look at Ray's and Jim's social media as well. It's all there. So drpbetterlife.com. You can find all of those links. Ray, as usual, thank you so much.
Thank you. We'll see you again soon.
Absolutely. Take care. Bye, everybody.
Take care.